Alright, y'all, what's up? It's midnight. Um, I'm making a video super late. I'm bored. I ain't got nothing to do. But by the title of the video, y'all know what time it is, man. We talking about moving to a new state. We gonna talk about the cost. We gonna talk about coming up with a plan, what to expect, what to look for, how I did it. You know what I'm saying? Let's start this journey. Alright, y'all. So look, first things first is you gotta know where you're going, obviously. Because you finna go out of state and you don't know where you're going. That don't make sense. But what you can do is you can either think about places you went to on vacation previously. You probably think in your head, yeah, I liked it, I rocked with it, whatever. Or you just have to do your own research, maybe from people that went to places that said good things about that particular place. You know, stuff like that. But after that, man, you definitely gotta look into the cost of living because you gotta be able to afford it. You ain't trying to be out homeless in the streets and no stuff like that. I don't want you to either, but I'm just saying. That's really important. And then once you figure that out, you definitely need to vacation there or just visit there as much as possible. Before I moved to Houston, I think I came out here like 4 times, so 3 times last year, then 1 time this year to find an apartment. I'm gonna get to that part too. But yeah, you definitely gotta visit as much as possible. That is so important because if you don't, you may not necessarily make the right decision. So keep that in mind. Once you found a place, now you got to think about when you want to move. So time frame is very important. Now for me, when I decided to move, I kind of put like a month and like a year. So I gave myself like a year, just to let y'all know, before I end up moving. But that's really important. You definitely want to have a time frame because your time frame is going to determine how everything else comes into play. So if you plan on giving yourself like a year to move, you can plan everything around a year's time. If you give yourself 6 months, you can plan around 6 months. If you give yourself 3 months, you know what I'm saying? You give yourself 3 months to like try to get everything together. So time frame is very important. Next thing is your job / financial situation. If you're an entrepreneur, how's that gonna work for your business? If you work a regular 9 to 5, it's kind of like what you gonna do about your job. Are you gonna try to stay with your company, which I think you should do if you can. I'm telling you, trying to find a job out of state is hard. Trust me, I tried to apply and they won't mess with your boy like that. So that's something to think about. Another thing is once you find out what city you want to stay in, now it's like what area do you want to stay in? Like you might want to start looking at that as well because that's gonna help you too. Another thing is how much are you gonna try to save? And that's gonna kind of depend on like if you gonna take stuff down there with you or not, how you getting down there, which is the next point. Just things like that. You gonna have furniture with you, you gotta buy a lot of stuff. So all that's gonna depend. Alright, y'all, so look, this is another thing I want to talk about. It's the leap of faith or having something set. It kind of goes back to cost in the job / financial situation. If you have to find another job out of state, it's very important to know that it may or may not happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but everybody won't be able to do it, unfortunately. So if you're really just like adamant about going to a new state, you really want to move, then you may have to take the leap of faith. Now, with that being said, if you do it that way, then you got to save a lot more money. Because I know some people on YouTube, I watched their videos and they did it, but they had to save quite a bit of money and had to stay in a hotel or like Airbnb for a while until they found a job and got like paychecks and everything. So that's just something to keep in mind too, because I know you might run into that hurdle probably. I hope you don't, but if you do, you do what you got to do. I personally think you should have something set in place already, but everybody's situation is unique, it's different. So if you have to do a leap of faith, that's just some stuff to keep in mind. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Very important. When you go on vacation, there's a few things you definitely got to do. Now, obviously, you should have fun, of course. You're on vacation, but at the same time, this is your research time. This is your time to really figure out the places for you or not. one thing I would tell you to do is you definitely got to talk to the locals. That's what I did the few times I came down here before I moved. I talked to locals, see what they thought about it, see what they liked about it, see what they disliked about it, what neighborhoods to move into probably, because they'll be able to tell you like, hey, this neighborhood cool, or oh, that one's not cool, whatever. So keep that in mind. You can always like take notes too, obviously. So whenever you got to sit there and decide where you want to go, or if you want to make the move down there, you definitely want to explore different areas too. Just because like just, driving around or whatever, you definitely want to see what's to do out there in the city. If you're really big on the nightlife, you definitely want to look into that too, because the nightlife ain't right. Hey, the city might not be right for you if you into that kind of stuff. So definitely things to keep in mind for sure. All right, y'all. So look, the next topic is looking for an apartment. This is really important because you gotta have somewhere to stay, and you want to pick the right place, especially out of state if you're going a long distance. So it's a really important step. What you want to do is you want to try to decide, do you want to look for an apartment virtually or in person? Me personally, I did in person because it's cool to do it virtually, but they may do a bait switch on you, and you may not really get to see everything like the neighborhood and all that if you do it virtually. So I definitely recommend in person. All right, so then you gotta think about, do you want to do it yourself, or you want an apartment locator? So an apartment locator, if you don't know, is somebody that helps you find an apartment. They're typically like a real estate agent. They're free usually. They usually get paid by the back end. So like once you sign a lease for an apartment, they get paid. I think once you move in, one of them. But like I said, you can either do it that way or you can do it yourself. It's up to you. I'm not saying you can't do it yourself, but it's definitely cool if you get an apartment locator, just because they know more about the city than you do. It's like you kind of fresh out there or whatever. I did it myself, but looking back at it, I would have got an apartment locator. Like I said, there's a lot of them out there. They're free, and they got more knowledge than you too. So I say go for an apartment locator, but if you don't want to do that, you can always do it yourself. But I say apartment locator, but that's just me. All right, so look, you also got to know what to look for in an apartment. What neighborhood you trying to be in? You trying to be in a safe area, which I hope you are. I don't want to be in the ghetto, and I told myself I didn't want to be in the ghetto, so that's something to think about. You also want to think about, can you afford it? Obviously, that's very important. Can you make 3 times the rent, which is usually what they look for. You also want to look at reviews too. You look at apartments. It's kind of like the same stuff you would do in state, but it's more important out of state because you move far away most likely. You definitely want to look at maintenance too. Now, what I mean by maintenance is when you pull up to the apartment complex, right? And you see it on first sight or whatever. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but if you pull up to an apartment complex like I did this one down here, it was messed up. I can tell they didn't really care. They didn't maintain the property right. What else? Oh, and the demo units they show everybody on the tours, it was something wrong with them too. So I just already knew nah, I'm not rocking with these people because y'all don't even care to make the demos look decent, suck people in at least. But that's really important. So that's what I mean by maintenance. Very important. If the property don't look like it's kept up, I wouldn't even rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even waste your time, even if the price is good. Because, yeah, I think I ain't got to explain that too much. So here we go with another one. So, how you gonna move? It's a really good question. You can do it so many ways. You can sit there and catch a flight, ship your car. You can get a U-Haul, Penske truck, throw your car on the back, take it down to the place. Or if you can fit your stuff in the car, for example, you might be able to just take your car down there and not pay that much. There's so many ways to do it. It just depends. But I will talk about, how I did it, or at least show y'all how I did it. So, matter of fact, I just thought about it. I'm gonna do a little screenshot in the video, and I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I paid. But I will quickly talk about how I did it. So, basically, I had some stuff I wanted to take down here. So what I did was I rented a Penske truck. And then I ended up getting like a car carrier for it, so I took my car down here too. And me and my cousin just drove down here. I think it was 13 hours, 14, something like that. We had to stop and everything, obviously. But yeah, that's basically how I did it. But I'm finna show y'all right now how much it cost me. So hold on a second. Well, there go my costs. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I got more videos coming on the way. I promise I do. I'm trying to get better with this whole YouTube thing, but you know, follow me, man. I definitely got more videos coming. I'll see y'all in the next one.